It is time to get uplifted. Thank you for joining me. I'm Allison Seymour. Well, I don't know if you knew it or not, but we are right in the midst of a crafty renaissance. Junk journaling. It's helping many of you transform your pieces of your life into a story, into art. Most consider this art method a slower, more intimate form of scrapbooking. It embraces imperfection. It focuses more on the process and involves using more everyday items, often considered junk. Things like receipts, ticket stubs, napkins. And this episode is meant to inspire you to unlock your creative side. So we're breaking it down into two different parts. In the first half, we're going to highlight the crafters that are bringing this art alive and the most powerful impact that it's making here in the DMV. And in the second part, we're going to share tips so that you can start your own junk journal. Take a look at your screen right now. This is Martina Calvi's junk journal. Many credit her for inspiring the rest of us to fill notebooks with our very own junk. Martina is on tour right now to promote her brand new book. It's called A Year of Junk Journaling and features 52 creative prompts to help inspire your artistic process. So I talked to her before she started her book tour about the impact she's making in the junk journaling community. And here is that conversation. You've always been a journaler. When did you decide to take it to this other level?
I've always been a journaler for sure. I started when I was 8 years old, and my mum gave me a travel journal for our trip abroad, and it's just something I've done ever since.
Mhm.
But it's funny the thing that you think is quite normal and mundane, maybe about yourself, is something that actually really resonates with a lot of people. So a few years ago, I started just sharing my pages on Instagram, and it was just part of my day to day, and it just stuck, and people started I guess, seeing me as this scrapbook girl when I started blowing up on Pinterest and Instagram.
So, what do you think the impact has been on people? Because for us, if you're saving a ticket stub, like I have a ticket stub from a Michael Jackson concert I saw in 1983, like a Prince thing, what do you think is the appeal for that? What impact does it have on people really when they share these events in their life?
I guess it's just I think a lot of us are sentimental, and I think a lot of us have that shoebox under our bed filled
Yeah.
with tickets and photos and little bits that we've collected, like little bowerbirds. But there's something about actually turning that into art and taking time to really go through these memories and hold them, paste them in a journal. And it doesn't have to look pretty, but it's something about just the act of doing it that just romanticizes it even further and allows us to have that slow moment, I think.
Right, right. And how would you say that this artwork, that's what I'm going to call it, or this form of art has grown and changed for you over the years?
The style has definitely evolved, and the contents definitely. My journals when I was 8 years old had Lizzie McGuire stickers and Kim Possible, which reveals my age and generation. And
Yeah.
now it might be, I mean, there's less concert tickets. I have to say that because
Mm,
we don't seem to get physical paper tickets anymore. And
right.
now I feel like I have to ask for them, especially and say, I want them for my journal.
Yes. Okay. Well, I have a drawer full of them if you ever need any from the U.S. So this extends way beyond where you're joining us from in Sydney. It's really formed communities around the world and different clubs and people doing this. When you think of that or your impact, how does that make you feel?
I never could have expected it to go as far as it has gone. I'd never expected that sharing my journals would
Mhm.
inspire and spark so much community. I think people are really craving that real life connection, and junk journaling is such an easy, low cost activity that can just bring you and your girlfriends together, and such
Yeah.
a fun activity to do, even with strangers, because you have this icebreaker, which is that you enjoy craft and stickers and there's something
Mhm.
to talk about. But now there's hundreds of junk journal clubs around the world. I get people messaging me from Panama, from Bahrain, from
Yeah.
every
Wow.
state in the US saying,
Yeah.
I've started a little junk journal club, and thank you so much for inspiring that. And yeah, it's amazing to know that the impact has gone beyond online.
Do you still host any? I know you have in the past.
Yes, yeah, I do.
Mhm.
So I'm about to go on my book tour, which is really just an excuse to do a whole bunch of crafty events and
Yeah.
go visit my community around the world.
And you've actually launched two books. Can you tell us about those?
Yes. So my first book is The Art of Memory Collecting, which is 15 different craft projects for turning your memories into art, like memory boxes, scrapbooks.
Mhm.
And then my second book, which just came out, is A Year of Junk Journaling. And that is a whole year's worth of prompts and inspiration for your junk journal.
Oh my God, I am definitely a fan. I'm telling you, I have diaries from when I was young with roses pressed in them, and you're like, what am I going to do with all
Wow.
of this? So I'm just really excited. But I would be beginning. So what is the advice for a beginner? How do we even start doing this?
A beginner junk journaler, I would just say start with what you have. I think we all have little bits and pieces that
Hmm.
we've collected, and if you don't, then start collecting. And
Yeah.
I think there's so much beauty in just starting to look at life that way, looking for
Hmm.
little souvenirs from your daily moments.
You have a fan here in Washington, D.C. That's me. And I'm going to start, and I can't wait. And you just heard it. Martina inspired hundreds of junk journaling communities all around the world, including right here in the DMV. And right now, we want to highlight a junk journaler whose initial junk journaling community started online. Jess Wynn has about 50,000 followers on TikTok, and her videos show her junk journaling adventures, including going to the store, picking out different supplies like her special tape and stickers. Here, let's take a look. Jess is also part of the Third Place Crafters Club. That's the junk journaling club for people living in Houston, Texas. And last month, she went to Martina Calvi's book tour in New York, along with almost 1,000 other junk journalers. And we are just super lucky because Jess is in DC right now and joining us here on Get Uplifted to talk about how her community, both online and in the great state of Texas, is helping to embrace her inner child. Hi, how
Hi.
are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
You're such a social media person. When you came in the studio, I saw you. You had you're
Oh,
just recording everything. Tag me.
I will. I
Okay.
will definitely.
Talk to me about how you got into junk journaling.
Honestly, I've been journaling since I was about 10, 11 years
Yeah.
old. And my aunt actually had like a craft room. It was like a wall full of stamps
Ooh.
and washi tape. And
Yeah.
so that was like more scrapbooking. And then that's kind of how I got started. And then later scrapbooking kind of became junk journaling.
Right.
And that's genuinely how I became like a junk journaler, I guess.
I
I've been
love
doing
it.
it since I was a child.
So we showed you earlier, Martina, and she was on tour. You actually went, right, in New York City?
Yes,
So what
yes.
was that like? And then being there with other people of similar interests?
Honestly, it was very humbling to see. There was a lot of people, thousands of people, and then getting to see Martina, who's also a friend, in her element, and seeing people make new friends. Like they could buy stationery, stickers, and then journal downstairs. So it was genuinely like very also inspiring to see because there were people who were like, "Are you Jess?" And I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
"How
cool.
do like?" It's
Yeah.
very humbling because I genuinely didn't think people would know who I was in New York. So
That's the beauty, I think, of social media, right? It brings us together.
Yes.
You made something special for Martina. Can you tell us what it was?
yeah, so she just had me. She has some of her books and like a what is it called? The receipt, not receipts, but
Receipts?
yeah,
Yeah.
and they had that. So I made them into big posters so people could sign it
that's nice.
and leave their autograph and signature and things like that. So.
Right. Okay, so we've been, when my producer first told me about this, I'm like, huh? Do you mean like scrapbooking or what do you mean, right? But in truth, I do have boxes full of things that were special to me that are just kind of sitting there and, getting really old. So if you're like me or you're seeing this and you're like, maybe I'll do this, how do you even get started in your opinion?
I think we all kind of have things in our drawer, in our dresser, kind of that we've saved for a sentimental reason.
Right.
And I feel like you could put that on your fridge because a lot of things that I post about, it's not just journaling, it's also like different ways to craft and journal. So you could put it on your fridge, but I like to put it in the journal and specifically junk journaling, whether it's receipts or things that normally people would throw away. Like one time I took part of a perfume and cut like the box and put it on there. So I think just getting started is like you're already sentimental and keeping things that normally people would just see or deem as trash. So you just keep those and put them in a journal, and everyone journals differently. So however you wish to be creative and even be inspired just by being creative.
Now, is there one thing that you ask yourself to know, I'm going to keep this?
Yeah.
Or I'm going to throw it away? Like if you're thinking about what to collect maybe, what's your method?
There's a trend, actually funny trend going on where it's like, I need this for my journal, and it's even become humorous among like significant others where it's literal like getting a ticket on your car where the husband's like, do you want this for your journal?
Right.
Like it's become some sort of like a silly trend. But genuinely for me, it's like I do keep certain things, like things that like yesterday when we went to get brunch, it was on top of the butter. It was so pretty. It was like a little French brunch spot. We just asked, is there a clean one that we could have instead of like keeping one that has butter on it? Probably wouldn't be sanitary or bring like rodents or ants.
No rodents in
something
junk
like
journaling.
that. So yeah, things like that we'll ask, and if not, then it's kind of just like a pass.
It feels like something maybe that touches you, that you feel like is special in that moment. Let me end with this. You've branched out. There are keychains, toolboxes, and all that kind of stuff. Where can we see besides TikTok, or is that where we should go to sort of follow you and just get ideas?
So I do have an Instagram. I have Jess Meets World on Instagram, and my TikTok Jess NT Win as well.
I love it. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Yes, thanks
Welcome
for having
to DC.
me.
Is this your first trip, or you've been
This
here?
is like my third trip to DC. I love it.
Well, I hope you get lots of things to put in your journal from DC.
Thank you so much.
This is Jess Win. Follow her and start your own junk journal. Okay, so we hinted at it, teased you a little bit throughout this episode, but Junker is helping many of us find your creative crafting community. The club hosts multiple themed junk journaling workshops every month at different spots around the DMV. And they're also helping small businesses and artists grow by giving participants copies of their work during workshops to use in their journals. Junker's co-founders Manuela Breeson and Samara Lopez join us now in studio to talk about what inspired them to start this crafting community. Thank you both for coming on today. Appreciate it. Manuela, let me start with you. You all started this club back in April just with a few friends. My goodness, it has grown. Can you talk about that and the impact on local businesses?
Yes, we started back in April. We first started in December. We were just connecting with some people. But then we decided to open the club back in April, and it's been great. We've grown so much. We're not expecting that at all. All we started on social media. We started like posting our little meetups, and yes, now we have 225 members.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Were you surprised by the growth, and what do people in the club sort of? What's the feedback you get as far as this community you formed?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was definitely shocking seeing the turnout for that, but also seeing people come together month after month to create and connect has been a best feeling ever. And also having the small businesses and local businesses want to be part of it has truly been really rewarding for us.
And also speak to the artists, to the creatives that come out and support, and that you support as well, this community. Why is that important?
It is important. The junk journaling community, it's slowly growing this year, especially. That's where the boom of junk journaling started. So it's a great way to show them on a platform out there for new junk journalers, so they can grow their own business and show out their work.
So you brought some of these. I mean, these are like pieces of art. When you pulled, especially that big one with the ribbons, this is a whole, like this is a life, right? Talk about some of the ways that you've crafted your junk journals.
Yeah, I love to collect a lot of my junk during travels and bring all that junk back to me and just like put it together into my spread, really I mean, it's a really highlight also because I'm able to remember those moments in life with my families and friends, and then now I can go back and look at it in my journal.
Much better than like a shot glass or a T-shirt
Yes,
from
yes.
from a plate. No offense to people who collect that. And Manuela, how about you? Like, what do you look for when you go into your junk journaling too? These are so impressive.
Yes, mostly about my trips, collecting ticket stubs or even the airplane ticket, everything that we can find throughout the trip. I like to collect stuff that I've bought as well. So we just organize them. It's a way to collect memory.
Yeah, that's it. You know, I look at it as something for me. I have 3 daughters who are in their 20s now, and maybe decades from now, they can look back and see what my life was like through the collection of things. So I think it's really special, and I appreciate you both being here today. Let me ask you, if those at home are interested in joining Junker, how do they do it?
Yes, we are on TikTok and Instagram. You can find us at Junker Club. We have linked on our bio or membership form where you can sign up, and you're going to be connected to our Telegram group chat. And over there, we always post or events updates and also like dates or time or locations that works for everybody. So we are always connect over there. And yeah,
I love that. And you know, for a beginner, for somebody seeing this and saying, I have a lot of stuff in this drawer and I'd like to get it together, can they come to beginners?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
everybody's welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll appreciate you both.
Thank you for having us.
Many more years. You're going to have a whole room full. Okay. Junk journaler Ashley Huntington's sticker designs may be featured on your notebooks. She draws dozens of stickers, including ones of grumpy little orange girl, cans of soup, cup of noodles, sriracha. Ashley sells her creations at local markets in Sydney, Australia, where she lives, and runs a shop on Etsy called Lazy Cherry Club. So we here in the United States can add to her art, add her art to our art. And I spoke to Ashley in September about what inspired her to launch her small business.
So I got started in junk journaling because I just really love packaging. I used to be a graphic designer, so I love seeing all the different types of packaging and all the fun things you can do with it. And I just felt weird throwing it out, you know.
Yeah.
So I started collecting it, putting it into my journal, and then writing my thoughts down with it. Anything that came up during the day. Yeah.
And why stickers in particular? I know you love the stickers the most.
Yes, stickers. I love stickers. Stickers are great. I think the doodles that I was doing in my journal, they just turned out to be the perfect size to be turned into stickers. And what I really love about stickers is that they're a really accessible way to support your favorite artists. So like if you wanted to buy some art, buying a big print is like a big commitment and can be expensive. But with stickers, you know, you can buy heaps of them. They're really cheap. You can put them anywhere. Like they're just great.
And yours are, would you describe them as quirky? Would that be a good description? Describe them
Yeah.
for us. Okay.
Yeah, you could definitely say they're quirky. They're definitely a lot of them are like food based, but then I love to put these grumpy little faces on them. Just because I've been told that I'm very grumpy
Oh
sometimes.
no.
So I guess I just like make some fun out of that. And yeah, I just like take anything out of my like everyday experiences and just throw it into my art. So it's a lot of it is food. Like I'll go to a farmer's market and see a really beautiful display of oranges, and I'm like, oh, I have to draw that, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And what's the
Yeah.
response been like from people in Sydney, where you are, and also any moments that stick out to you?
Yeah, yeah. So I do a lot of art markets here in Sydney. And it's just so great. The community is so, so lovely. And one of my favorite like type of moments is like you'll get someone come up and they'll find a sticker that they really connect with, or they'll be like, wow, my friends would really, really love this. I can't wait to give it to them. And like building that sort of connection through my art is just like so special. Like it's so crazy.
Yeah. And speaking of connection, I mean, people here in the States, we love your stickers too. What does that mean to you to hear that your art has
Right.
reached all these thousands of miles away?
Yeah, it's insane. I remember when I got my first order from the US, I couldn't believe it. I think I jumped up and down and did a little dance. It was crazy. It just, when I first started, I was really just making stickers that I wanted to use myself.
Right.
So the fact that complete strangers from all the way over in the
Mhm.
US like my stuff and feel a connection to it as well is just like insane. It's really crazy.
Ah, lastly, before we let you go and get back to it, what's next for the Lazy Cherry Club?
Yeah, I have a lot of plans. But I think what I really want to do next is start an art mail club. So that's something where you subscribe and then every month you would get a new postcard and stickers and
Mhm.
you would get to vote on what you want to see next. I think that would really help build an even greater
Yeah,
connection with the
right.
customers.
Make people feel involved like they have a say as
Yeah.
well. All right.
Yeah.
Ashley, thank
Yeah.
you so much. Keep on having fun and making us smile and collecting those good memories. We appreciate it. Too. We also talked to the owner of Stickers by Claude. Claudia Cover sells her creations on Etsy and at markets in Melbourne, Australia, where she lives.
I love being able to meet people face to face, and it's really rewarding again to kind of see people, for example, who follow me on TikTok or some sort of social handle, seeing them in real life and kind of connecting to them in person and being able to show them what I do and talk to them also about what they do, because quite a few people who are interested in stickers and crafty kind of do a similar thing. So it's kind of cool to meet people who also like to share their story. I can share my story, and it's rewarding.
And Claudia is also a junk journaler herself. She says her sticker sheets are another way for her to preserve her memories.
Sheet, and it's got a whole bunch of different aspects from like my own travels. So I went to Japan recently last year, and these little stamps here are some that I kind of collected and saw at train stations and stuff like that. So those three up here, and obviously my camera that I take with me everywhere, especially when I'm traveling. And what's another one? Let's do this one. This is an Australian-based one. So it's got a whole bunch of different Australian animals on it. And when I was younger, I used to go to this place called Wilson's Promontory, and it was kind of like you could camp there and stay in cabins, and there was always native animals everywhere. So this kind of was inspired by that, which was really, really fun. And I'll choose one more. I'll do this one. This is one of my newer ones. And I've recently gotten into like proper junk journaling this year, basically by meeting other people who also were interested in what I was interested in, like art and illustration. So this is kind of inspired by the types of things that you can collect and use within your own junk journaling, like buttons. And I used to love buttons as a kid. I used to have collections.
Really cool, right? Well, you can find Claudia's stickers on Etsy. Her shop is called Stickers by Claude. Okay, grab your notebook, your glue, and yes, even that pile of junk. When we come back, we're going to share tips to turn your scraps into stunning journal spreads. Welcome back in. So this is junk journaler Kina Jade. Hello.
Hi.
And then I'm also with Amber Hubner, another junk journaler in Junker, the club. Part of this great big club meant for junk journalers here in the DMV to connect and to craft together. And they have both been so kind as to come in, sort of show us how to do this if we're thinking about getting started. So thank you both. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yes, I
Happy
really
to be
do.
here.
Let me start with you, Kina. How long have you been junk journaling?
So I've been junk journaling since the start of 2025. So I
Okay.
started in January.
So you're
and
kind of a beginner.
I am.
So there's hope for other beginners.
Yes,
Okay.
there's hope for everyone, no
Awesome.
matter what stage.
Okay, good, very good. And what kind of things do you find yourself collecting, saving, and including in your journal?
I like to save concert tickets, any type of experience, sometimes maps,
Yeah.
programs, anything that I can kind of cut up, tear apart a little bit and put in my journal.
Okay, so part of this is we're going to try to of walk through the process of doing this in our limited time together. So let me ask the first question. How do you start? Like, what kind of notebook do you have? Like, go to the store and get what?
Honestly, you can get anything. Like it could be something that you have at your house, an old planner, an old composition book.
Okay.
I have just a normal journal that I've been using to put my spreads in, but really, if you have something at home or if you want to just be inexpensive, just a composition book.
Can you show, so maybe to like that camera right there to 3, just a page or what it's, something that's not too personal, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
How it looks and how the process of doing it. And what do you use to glue it? Is it that Mod Podge that we used to use back in the day? How do you even start?
This is just like one of my experiences, I would say. I was in Indy and I actually met some of my junk journal girlies. So this is like a spread with them, and this was actually something we went to another club and met up with one another. But any glue. Okay. So kind of just starting with your base, and that's kind of just like your background, and it can be paper, newspaper, really anything, like a notepad of some sort, some stationery, things like that. So that's kind of where you start.
And then you just adorn it with what kind of things do you have?
So mine I planned on doing was going to be kind of like a fall kind of vibe, I guess you would say. Like this is just different pieces of ephemera, and then they're all kind of like based around the fall. So I was going to use some of that, and then I also had like some pieces from my girlfriends, just like little notes, something from like a blind box and stuff. And then this was just from, I think, something that I bought. And I was just gonna put that kind of like all in there with the bits and pieces around it.
And what did you call each entry? You had a name for it. I think it started with an S. You said, was it a selection or did you say spread?
Yeah, spread.
Okay. See, I'm learning all this right now. I'm very new to this. All right, and you started junk journaling
last year. So I've been journaling a little over a year, and this is like the first time that I've actually stuck to something.
I love that.
I actually love this. I adore it, actually. I've met so many amazing people, and I think like we all talk about community, and that's definitely what this is.
It's so important to find your people. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, Miss Keena, what have you been over here doing? Because I heard I think I heard some glue or something.
Yes.
Okay, so this is getting started on a spread?
Yes, so I'm getting started with the spread. I'm putting down some of the paper that's going to serve as my background.
Okay.
So I'm actually creating a spread based off of a Washington Spirit game that I went to with my family.
Okay.
And so I like to choose paper that kind of matches that vibe or kind of matches that theme. So I chose some green to kind of imitate the field and kind of like the bright lights that we saw. So I'm just laying down the foundation, and then I'm going to start putting on some of my junk.
Right. What kind of materials would you use? I can see some, I don't want to, this is your precious stuff. I'm not going to touch it, but a cutout here and the Spirit logo here. So you have your things, and then you have some of the other, like, because for me, I'm thinking about like crafting as far as scrapbooking. So I recognize some things that I used to use here, but how do you choose what's going to go in it to adorn the page?
Yeah, so I always start with the junk first. So, when I say junk, these really are my precious items.
Right.
I need this to do my spread. I know.
I hate that word junk. A little.
I'm trying to get into treasure for sure.
Right, okay.
So I have the cutouts from, the program and the map from the stadium and even the roster card. So I typically start by laying all the junk that I have out first. And then I also like to go in with a couple of pictures because I always have pictures on my camera roll.
Right.
But getting them off of my camera roll is important because I want to know what that experience was like. So I have plenty of pictures that I also put in, and then any empty space or anywhere I feel like that needs a little bit more accessory or a little bit more love, that's when I typically go in with stickers, sometimes rhinestones, or even other pieces that I think will fit the spread perfectly.
All right, appreciate you so much. I'm totally going to do this.
Yes.
Next time we see each other, I'll be having my own one as well.
Okay.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you so much. This is Amber Huebner, and this is Keena Jade. Thank you. And thank you for joining us on this special episode. And you can get your daily dose of Get Uplifted on WUSA 9 mornings. Let's say it together, ladies. Stay uplifted. 1, 2, 3.
Stay uplifted.